Hello there.
It's Lindsay and Peter from Edward
Hi
Bear.
there.
Hello, how are all of you? Another week has gone by, and here we are again. It's lovely to see you all. We're really missing you lots. We hope everything's beginning to get back to normal. You're beginning to do things like you normally do, seeing some of your friends, going for walks, aren't you? Perhaps you've been seeing some of your aunties and uncles and nannies and granddads.
Jumping all the puddles with the rain
Absolutely.
recently, which has been fabulous, hasn't
It's
it?
been such a funny old week, hasn't it? Anyway, we're here now, aren't we? So what do we do when we first come to say hello to you? We normally sing our song, don't we?
We do indeed.
Are you ready? You can have a big breath. We're pleased to see you at Edward Bear, Edward Bear, Edward Bear. Pleased to see you at Edward Bear on a Thursday. First of all we come to church, come to church, come to church. First of all we come to church at Edward Bear on a Thursday. We light the candles and ring the bell. We can do that, can't we? We can light the candles and
Let's
we
hope
can
we can.
ring the bell.
Let's have a go,
Now,
shall we?
Peter, let's get the candles. And this week, both the candles are working. So the first candle,
Let's have a go.
what's this one for? Oh,
Wow.
there, now then.
That's impressive.
Now look at that. Now what happens when we light the candle? What does Janet say?
Oh, yes.
She says that we bring Jesus into our heads and into our hearts, and he's all around us.
Yep.
And he is, you know. He's right here now. He's
Absolutely.
right
He
here with
is.
you at home, and he's right here in our house here. And he's in the church, and he's with everybody around. If they will welcome him into their hearts, he's there.
That's right.
So, Peter, we light another candle, don't
Oh,
we?
we do. Absolutely.
So the
yes.
next one, we've got one more.
Let's have
here.
another
now,
go with
then
this
we're going to
magic
light this candle
machine.
because
Oh,
my
wow.
word! So that one is for birthdays. Do you have
Yeah.
a birthday
Or special occasions.
or special occasions? Have you had a special day? Have you had a birthday? Have you seen your nanny or granddad, or have you done something lovely?
Or
Or-
has anybody been poorly? Well, Nanny's just gone to answer the phone, I think, very quickly because she's going to join us again.
Here we are.
As
we
soon
can't
as
help that.
possible. We can't help
We
things
can't
like that,
help
can
get
we?
that wrong. Here we are. So there may be something, or somebody's poorly who we know who's poorly.
Yeah.
So we'd like to light that candle for those people too. Well, that's a good job, isn't it? We've done that,
I
haven't
think
we?
we've done that. Now, we
So
mustn't
we'll
forget to
move that
ring
to
the bell,
one
though.
side. 1 minute. Let's move
Yep.
it to one side. Here
This
we
is
go.
my favourite bit, really.
Now, Peter, we light
we
the
go.
candles and... Oh! That's really
That's
loud.
really good, isn't it, hey? I'll put it over there,
And
out of harm's way.
when we're in the church, we ring the bell, don't we? And why do we ring it? Well, we tell Ashbourne that Edward Bear is
We tell
started,
Ashbourne
don't
to
we?
wake up, don't we?
We do wake up
Yeah,
Edward Bear and
because
get
we've got
started.
the Edward Bear show.
I know, and that's what we've done. Well, now, what we're going to do now is we're going to tell a story, or are we going to say a little prayer first?
We're going to have a sing, I think, aren't we,
We're going
first?
we're going to have a little song. Yes, that's right.
Okay, yeah.
Now then, are you ready for a song? I do hope so, because we're going to sing a really good song that everybody knows. And Chris, you know Chris in the kitchen? Chris and Irene and Joan, yes, and they wanted us to sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
They
We've
did.
got lots of
Personal
verses.
request.
And we've got to get it right because Chris will be listening.
Well, she might be, mightn't
Yeah,
she?
she might be
She'll certainly
listening.
ring us afterwards.
She will, and she'll
if we get
tell
it
us.
wrong.
So if you're ready at home and you like singing Row, Row, Row the Boat,
Yeah.
shall we sing it?
Come on, we need lots of support here.
After 3, 1, 2, 3. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream.
Ah!
Row, row, row your boat gently to the shore. If you see a lion there, don't forget to roar. Row, row, row your boat gently down the river. If you see a polar bear, don't forget to
shiver.
row, row, row your boat gently over a puddle. If you see your mummy there, give her a great big cuddle.
Way.
Row, row, row your boat gently over the reservoir. If you see a pirate there, say, ooh ah,
ooh ah, ooh ah.
So there we are then. How's that? That was very good. I think we'll just have one song today, because that went on quite a long time.
It did. I think it did.
We're
Yeah.
going to let Peter tell a story now.
Okay then. Right. Well, I want to remind you that the playgroup has a lot of fun. It's some time since we've been together, but we do have a lot of fun, as well as finding out about Jesus. And today we visit the Play-Doh table, where it all gets a bit noisy. And this story is called Edward Bear Meets Harold the Snail. Edward was starting to understand why the group met every week, and was starting to learn about this Jesus, whom he never saw, but who was starting to believe was very important, both in the lives of all those who ran the playgroup, but also many of the parents and carers who came along as well. And he had Jesus as a friend, without doubt. Perhaps he was feeling his presence with him, and he and Skippy, the little white lamb, and he had Daisy, with whom it seemed he could share in all her adventures. He'd also met Daisy's mum Vicky during the last week, when he learnt about weddings and how people party, especially when Jesus buys the drinks. Well, today, Daisy grabbed Edward and they rushed off together to the dressing up area. She was in a hurry. She put on a long black hat with a pointy end, you know, the ones worn by witches, and a princess dress, and she was ready. We whizzed off on a little bike and headed towards the table where Peter was sitting. He was shivering as he held some coloured putty. All the children were giggling as they too pretended to have very cold hands, holding the putty in their hands. "We're warming it up," said Peter, with a huge smile, as if this is fun. But it was cold, and before anything else, Peter said, "It has been in the fridge all week, and before we can play with it, we need to soften it up. It's called Play-Doh." "And I have a secret," said Peter. "Do you know what it is?" No one knew what he was talking about, but this was okay because this often happened with Peter. "I've got the secret recipe for making Play-Doh, and I'm hoping we can make some new for next week. Chris always makes it, with some fantastic colours, but she's so busy at present, I thought I could make some new Play-Doh for us to play with." Edward hadn't thought about making Play-Doh, which in the children's hands was becoming softer and easier to play with and shape. He quickly discovered that their children loved eating it, although they said it was very salty and it wasn't really allowed. Peter carried on, as he does, you know, and showed them a picture of some that had been made on an amazing thing called Google. Let me show it to you. Can you see it there? Look at all those different colours, aren't they fantastic? Well, and there was a recipe as well. I won't read it out to you, but if the mums go on Google, they will find it. And it's got flour and salt and teaspoons, cream of tartar, that's just a funny thing, isn't it? Lukewarm water, tablespoons of vegetable oil. And mums, if you want to make some for home for your children, this is the recipe, and you can get it on Google, and you can have a lot of fun with it. Well, that was that. And we got into play. Daisy's bigger brother, Ted, was at the table and started to build a great big dinosaur with red Play-Doh, which looked fantastic. But it soon got demolished by Luke, who joined us, parking his bike and climbing quickly onto one of the seats. There followed a lot of giggling. We quickly built a castle and a seashore with lots of monsters and other imaginary creatures, and oh no, Daisy made a worm. Well, Peter couldn't stand worms and looked very shocked. All the children squealed with pleasure when Peter appeared to be somewhat frightened. It was good fun, for the children that is, and by now all the children were making worms. More and more worms appeared, and before long the table was in uproar and full of worms. Then Peter had to do something. He made Harold the snail, who was very big, and Harold started to climb over all the worms as if he was pushing them off the table. The noise levels became so loud that we got a few looks from the kitchen. The mums, however, seemed to know all was well and just carried on talking. And so we carried on playing. Edward just sat there. What was he going to tell the others when he got back into the toy cupboard? He had loved hearing the children squealing with delight, and he wondered why Peter was so frightened of worms. But how he got his own back with Harold. And the morning had just started. They were off now to the church to learn a bit more about Jesus. And we're hoping that Duncan will tell us more about being baptised perhaps next week in next week's story. Edward had no idea what this meant, but he did know that he was just the luckiest of all the bears. And that's the story for today.
Oh, wow, that was a lovely story, wasn't it? Did you like that? Do you like playing with Play-Doh? Because I know Peter does.
Oh, it's great fun, isn't it?
He does.
Absolutely. And all the noise and giggling.
It's lovely.
As long as we don't make any worms.
I know. Well, that was lovely. Now I think we ought to just be a little bit quieter for a minute.
Oh, really?
And before we blow our candles out, I'd just like to say a little prayer that we've been saying every week. So we're going to put our hands together and we're going to shut our eyes and we're going to say, thank you for the world so sweet. Thank you for the food we eat. Thank you for the birds that sing. And thank you, God, for everything. Amen.
Amen.
So now it's time to blow our candles out.
Oh,
so
yes.
we've got two here, Peter, and you like doing this.
Oh, this is another good
So
bit,
I'll
isn't
put
it?
out my hand. So
Okay.
would you like to give a big blow on that one?
Whee!
That was good, wasn't it? Well done.
All gone.
That's it.
Apart from the smoke.
So before we go, we're going to sing our favourite song, aren't we?
Oh, yes, let's
And
do
you
that.
know what we do? It's happy and you know it, isn't it? Are you ready? Big breath. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. If you're happy and you know it, shout I am. If you're happy and you know it, shout I am. I am. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. Happy and you know it, shout I am. I am. If you're happy and you know it, do a four. I am. If you're happy and you know it, do a four. I am. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, do a four. I am. Oh, wow, that was over quickly, wasn't it?
It's lovely to see you. And I hope looking forward to meeting you as well in the future.
Very
soon.
much too.
Let's hope so.
We
yeah.
wish you well. Have a lovely, lovely week and this weekend. Take great
Take care.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.